And I got my guy Glasses Malone in here and Peter Bass, both from No Ceilings Podcast. And tonight we're going to have a little bit of fun. Everybody's been talking about the season finale of Snowfall. And it was epic. Franklin pretty much lost his shit, went ape shit, robbed a bunch of people, killed a bunch of people. It was pretty epic in my book.
So before we start, I just want to say this. I'm not here for no slander, zero slander when it comes to Louie. The only thing Louie has done wrong so far is when she wouldn't help Franklin get at the CIA agent Teddy. That's the only issue I have and the only mistake she made. There's no reason why Franklin should have not empowered this brilliant street lady. You have to empower your people. When they don't want to be up under your thumb and they show leadership ability, you have to create an avenue for them to explore and go as far as they want to go without you. And that's the hardest thing when you in this business for the wrong reasons.
I agree. What makes you think somebody's going to come on here and slander you about?
I'm just letting y'all know
about Louie. Now, I do think Louie had a little bit more than that. She's not no angel, but I feel what you're saying. He should have empowered her. He should have empowered her.
The only angel on Snowfall is Sissy.
Yeah, pretty much. And Leon.
His mom. His mom. Yeah, Sissy is an angel.
So, G, he did a lot, man. He pretty much, he broke in their compounds, stole their money and cash and everything. Then he went and told old boy Kane is laid up in the hospital that Louie was the one that put the hit on him. Do you think he went too far with that?
Hell no. So while Louie didn't, I'm not mad at her for trying to knock Kane down because Kane tried to patch him all. Not to mention he put a bullet in the plug, right? Mm-hmm. I had no issue with any of the stuff she was doing. Her wanting to go out, even her reaching out to the plug, as weird as that sound, because your plug's supposed to turn her down. Your plug's supposed to show loyalty, not people who are with you and trying to expand their business. Your plug is your go-to. She should have had to go to the Colombians to do her own thing. I say all that to say that when you choose the plug over somebody who empowered you, like now you're taking sides. Oh, I can't help you. Like I'm not gonna do nothing to him because it's about me. And again, that's where the ruthlessness of a woman came out. So everything that happened, they had coming to him. It was the inevitable at that point.
Well, what's so funny? She said that it's my time.
Yeah, that was some bullshit.
She said it's my time. Fuck that. And where do you think that leaves Jerome at, though, bro? Because he looked like he kind of hurt by this, man. He like this kind of bothering him a little bit.
I didn't really see him after it happened, but shit, Jerome fucked up. Listen, as much as I didn't see it going here, right? Because I didn't see Teddy. First off, I didn't see Teddy backdooring Franklin. That just don't make sense.
Yeah,
right?
Teddy is the devil.
I also didn't see Teddy. That's probably where I'm stupid at. I didn't see Franklin fucked up when he got at Teddy and told him he was gonna quit instead of just quitting. Instead of just taking his money and disappearing. You're doing business with the CIA. These people can make you disappear. So really, you're supposed to just take your money and vanish. She pretty much ridded you of all your sins. You know what I mean? She pretty much, she took on all your burdens and responsibility and you got $75 to $100 million. Like you could just disappear. He got a plug. But when he went and he tried to stroke his own ego and tell the plug, oh, I'm done. And you had this dumbass smirk on your face, like you not playing with the damn police. You feel me? Hence the problems. So as far as Jerome went, I think Jerome, as he saw it coming. Now, I don't know if she talked to Jerome, before she made the decision not help Franklin. I cannot believe for 2 seconds Jerome he might have said, hey, we're going to do our own thing and been down to back his wife for that. But there's no way possible he would have backed his wife saying, you on your own, and chose Teddy over his nephew. So that's why I don't think Jerome quite knew what happened. So I'm definitely interested to see if he knew what happened.
I'm going to tell you what I think is going to wind up happening, man. And this is the way this show is going because it's starting to get real. I see Jerome being the one putting the bullet in her.
Yeah, for sure.
I see Jerome be the one putting the
Yeah, he's
bullet
for
in
sure
her.
gonna be the one.
I see as much as this saddens me, bro, I see little Leon probably getting whacked somehow in the mix of all this, dog.
It's
He's
always
just,
a positive Black brothers.
yeah, it's just, you know, his growth during the show has been incredible. You know, he's been on his own little personal journey. And him and that girl taking off to Europe, the only way that doesn't happen is if he just went away and never comes back. Because the time period that they entering on the show now is about to get real stupid. It's the rise of gangsters rap. It's the dawn of gangster rap, right? That's when California was real stupid at that time, G. We started talking about 87, 88, dog. That's about when NWA touched down, right?
Yeah.
It was real ill out here at that time, dog. It was gangbanging was just at its like apex at that time. So it's about to get real stupid. And I think the other person they not talking about is my man. What's my man from what's my dude, the blood dude from Inglewood from
you talking about
Stacy?
Stacy?
Yeah, Stacy.
Why do we always call him Stacy? We know damn well his real name ain't Stacy, nor is his character name on Snowfall Stacy.
He's always going to forever be immortalized as Stacy.
If you ever from LA, you seen the wood, you be like Stacy.
Yeah.
Even when I see that nigga in person, I met him. I was like Stacy. That's how you know you did a great job of delivering the character. When you forever like and the cold part is, homie got a fantastic, you know, he does a great job in this, you know, TV show, and we still will not give this character more credit than Stacy.
Yeah, for real. You know, the girl, you know, anyway, they seem to forget, dog, that they killed Kadeja and his daughter.
Yeah, for sure.
Leon DX, you know, so this dude, they just floating around. He coming to weddings, giving them acid, you know, stuff like that. Dude, there's something going on with that dude. He gonna come into play because they go all be weak and they ain't gonna see him coming because you got to remember that dude is a strategist.
Yeah, for sure. And he definitely want to wait him out. Mm-hmm. Like I said, even when I dissect every character on the show, right, and I look at it, I could see where Franklin went wrong, right? I could see where Franklin went wrong. I see where Louie went wrong. I see where Teddy went wrong. To me, the angel of the show, right, is Sissy, but the most trillest stand up, and maybe this is like a hint of, you know, racism on my part, but the only one who kept it solid the whole time is Gustavo, dog.
Gustavo is that dude, man. Gustavo,
I don't know if I'm biased towards Mexicans when it comes to doing street business, but they're like the most honorable people for me when I do when I used to do street business. Like I never felt like they were ever trying to cheat me. Now I don't have thousands of years in this business, 30 years, you know what I'm saying? But I always felt comfortable doing business with them. Like it's really business.
Well, I always liked Gustavo's character from the rip. And I understood it as well when he told him, when he kind of just hung up on Franklin. Franklin told him, he gonna get you too. He gonna get you too, Oso. You know?
Yeah.
Oso know that already, though. That's why he hung up on the phone, going to go get his cheese and getting on. That's why he getting off the phone with your ass, go get his money and get out of town. I just wish he'd have moved a little quicker.
Yeah.
But Teddy pretty much had told him, you know what he should have told Teddy, him knowing what was going on? He should have told Teddy he was going to meet him and just ghosted him.
I mean, I think he shouldn't have told Teddy shit. You chose my auntie over me. This has just lifted the burden of a complete country funding a war off my back. I'm not talking. Like I'm saying the bare minimum because I'm trying to get up out of here with my money and my safety. I don't want nobody to know where I'm at. I don't want nobody to know my next move. Feel me at that point.
But at this point, so let's go over these characters, G, and I want to hear what everybody thinks. Peter, you ain't saying much, and I know you got something in your brain mind that you want to say.
He knew Kevin Hamilton in real life, so he's still hurt over what happened to the homie Kevin.
Oh, he's still here. He
really
deserved that stuff. You know, and that's the homie. Shout out to Malcolm Mays, but Malcolm, you deserve that. Now you was fucking up.
Yeah, Malcolm was screwing up. Fucking Kevin, man. Kevin just he made everything so personal. And I remember the episodes where he was talking about Franklin buying them houses, right? And he was the one in the ear, like, oh, they bought the houses in my name. He bought the houses in his name. These ain't. That means I can just save my money. Like a lot of times when I listen to a lot of the death row stories, right? And you hear stories like, oh, all the cars was in Suge's name. Well, guess what? That means I could burn this motherfucker up and nothing could happen. All the houses in Suge's name. That means I can motherfucking do what I want to do and I ain't got to spend no motherfucking money. I ain't paying no motherfucking rent. So every dime I have go into my pocket. Most record companies, feel me, give you a lease car. They're not buying you no fucking car. They're not making that horrible investment. Most of them will put you in the house. They leasing the house. Well, guess what? That means I have no fiduciary responsibilities because when it come down to these properties. See, Kev looked at it wrong. He looked at it like, oh, it's not in my name. Bro, ownership is one of the most overrated things we talk about in our community, right? Bro. And I get it because we feel like we don't have it. This life is all about control.
That's an employee perspective, If you're only given money and no vehicle and you're a worker, you don't know what to do with the money, Yeah,
that's true. You know what I think, though, man? I think with cats like Kevin, right? It's just too much like rights. You always got to have the one disgruntled nigga, G. It's always going to be one disgruntled dude. No matter what you do for them, it's never enough. If you give them $1 million, man, it should have been 2. Just watch him. I bet you got 4 or 5 million off my back. And they usually the nigga that ain't worth a damn, that ain't brought nothing to the table with nothing. It's just always like that. But where do you see, I want to just kind of analyze each character. Where do you see Franklin Saint going next season? What do you see? How do you see this ended for him? What do you think is going to happen?
Prison.
Oh, we know that that's the end, but do you think he's going to get punched in any way on the streets?
Is he going to get killed? No, he's going to prison.
So he's going to do
prison for sure.
How many years you think he's going to do? About 20?
Forever. About 27, 28.
He actually young enough. He can get out and still have half a life.
What's crazy is he going to end up turning into a snitch.
But who is he going to snitch on? The police?
Yeah.
You think he could wind up turning states?
You don't have a choice. Think about it. Let's say Gustavo, like I think was going to happen, Gustavo bump off Teddy. Feel me? Like you going to have to tell.
Gustavo is locked up now.
Yeah, but Gustavo going to get out.
How many seasons do you think they got left in them? That's what it all hinges on.
Next season is the last season. That's why we're talking about it.
He going to die in the last episode and it's going to go out on him having like a, what do you call it? With audio where he's talking over the situation as the shit pans out.
That's you trying to say it's going to be menaces in society? What happened to Kane? No, sir.
No, I don't think it's going to be that. I think they're a little bit more talented than that, man. I don't think they're going to be that predictable. This is what I think will happen to him. I think he's going to suffer even more losses because, see, the problem with Franklin, when you in the D game, you can't do it both, dog. You can't be Mr. Joe businessman square and be this drug lord, right? It just don't work. The two just don't coincide in the same space. So I think what's going to happen with him, by him trying to really hold on to that, because you see his biggest worry, do we have enough capital to keep paying for the rents? Or are we going to lose the properties? That was his problem in the first place. You are a motherfucking drug dealer. You sell dope. Quit trying to buy buildings and draw a hit on yourself. Teddy was kind of right when he got on him about that. I was with Teddy on that. Stop bringing heat. You go out there buying $50 million buildings. How do you substantiate that? Where's you getting the income from? You ain't worried about nobody asking you questions? You feel what I'm saying?
He was a little smarter than that. I think there's so many people in this country who was doing the wrong thing and turned illegal. I mean, everybody didn't earn their money the right way.
Oh, 100%. But he was kind of being almost like cocky with it.
But you have to pay for cover to do that at a large scale.
Sure. And I think that was his goal, right? But, you start talking about corpse in the early 80s and certain attorneys in the early 80s. He was trying his best. Not to mention, he had permission from the CIA agent that he was dealing with besides Teddy. It was somebody trying to help him, elevate out of the business. And, the last CIA agent that Teddy killed, when he came back, I forgot the man's name, but, he was trying to help. This was his idea that he gave to Franklin. he was saying, elevate out of it. Like
Man, that's
almost
CIA
like
shit.
he was trying to give Franklin an out when this was all said and done. Teddy decided, like, I'm gonna keep this Negro, feel me, in this position. That way, when it's all said and done, I could kill him and take the money. Like, you got to remember, even when they took the $75 million from him, right? He's telling his boss and other partners, like, yeah, we got an extra $75 million. You don't got an extra, you fucking thief. You don't have an extra $75 million. So that goes to show you that, they didn't have no proper thing for Teddy. So, I mean, I think every natural, D-boy's goal is to, to eventually elevate into a place where they could do legal business. I mean, to be successful, even as a drug dealer, like, you have to be really smart and resourceful. Like, you have to be intelligent. Like it's some belief that any idiot could sell dope, and that's just the furthest thing from the truth. Most people, when I was coming up hustling and selling, PCP or rock, whatever, they earned a regular living. Like, somebody might have earned $400 a week profit, $500 a week profit. They wasn't making, like we was making, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a week. It just wasn't that type of party. So I think that's the natural thing. So I don't fault him for, especially even under the influence of the other CIA agent, to try to elevate out of the business.
Well, you know what, though? I just think he was doing too much, man. I think his hubris in the end, dog, is going to be his downfall. He has that, like, real young arrogance. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he just, like, like when he was trying to get Louie and Jerome to invest in the buildings downtown, he was almost like forced them, like, y'all need to do this. And was mad because they didn't want to put their money in, man. Them people was dope dealers. They not thinking about becoming real estate agents. Shit, Louie was just a hoe 5 years ago.
But I also think, while I agree with you, to his defense, you know what I'm saying? He felt like, I led you this far. You guys are multimillionaires because of my ideas. I mean, yes, y'all also went out and executed and had some ideas, but the whole organization they're all multimillionaires because of Franklin's, ideas. So I understood why he felt some kind of way. Like, there's no reason to not trust me now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but I also understand Louie and Jerome, them two grown ass, them people older than you. You know what I'm saying? But you're trying to tell them what they're gonna do with their livelihood.
But that's the character vice. It's like he feels entitled to reality being what he wants it to be, and he plays around that instead of playing around reality and what it is.
True.
And you could justify whether he thinks he's righteous in viewing it that way, but it is still nonetheless going to unravel.
Yeah, for real.
Inevitable.
Well,
I was just I was thinking to Steele, I was just saying, like, I get why you thought this way. Even though whether I agree or not, I mean, I get you like shit, they should trust you. And it's like, that may not be the truth. Like, they might don't look at the whole journey the way you see the whole journey. And that was the obvious truth.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. What used to be one of my favorite characters, Aunt Louie. What's happening with her next year, G?
Jerome's gonna pop her.
I say that too. I think Jerome kills her. I think he wound up being the one to kill her because she's gonna do something that kind of goes too far trying to get at Franklin. And that's still his nephew at the end of the day.
Well, the fear is she's more ruthless than Franklin is. So there could be a situation where Sissy gets hurt, because I think Sissy can end up dead, and that's still Jerome's sister. You know what I'm saying? So I think this could go a few ways, but I'm with you for sure. Louie doesn't survive. I mean,
the way I would write it,
is
I would make her exactly like what she is. She's the consummate opportunist. I would write her into being like a full-on willful informant who leaves everybody hung the fuck out to dry and walks off and skates off with something in her pocket.
No, I wouldn't like that. That bitch got to go.
I wouldn't like it, but that's how I'd write it.
That would be interesting. I'm not against. Listen, I don't
you
get
wouldn't like
invested.
some old awkward ass shit like that, wouldn't you?
That would be kind of fucking. That wouldn't be far for Louie.
Just skating off into a universe without consequences.
But you know what, though? You just named
Jerome
her thing.
And everybody else.
You just named her thing.
Her whole play was to marry Jerome just so she can make this happen. That's a woman for you. A whole long-term plan. They plan, they scheme to get simple things like meals, and then they scheme for grand things like millions and putting everybody in prison.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So I'm gonna tell you, the biggest snake on the show by far is Teddy's ass.
Yeah, but this,
I can't stand him, man. Like, honestly, I wish them motherfuckers would have killed him when they ambushed his ass.
what's crazy is he really feels like he has this moral sense of him being right. Like, this is all for the greater good of, as a patriot, he like whatever it takes. Like, I don't care.
He's telling himself that I'm gonna tell you what's happened with him. The rest of his life done went to shambles, and that's the only life he knows. Remember, he tried to go back to normal society and tried to do the normal thing. He just couldn't. I think he got bored, and I actually think he enjoys having people under his thumb.
Sure.
Because if you notice, he's became more and more ruthless. He's more visibly ruthless now. But I'm gonna tell you, those Russian CIA, the people from the KGB, I think they got something for his ass, though.
You know what? I think they'll have their situation, but I think my man Gustavo gonna have that covered.
What make you think, first of all, how's Gustavo gonna get out of jail?
They don't have drugs on him.
Well, he got $6 million in this $13 million in his trunk, and he ain't got no way to justify it.
You don't have to justify having money. Who told you that?
Yeah, you do. The IRS.
Not in 1986, you didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Why did you?
Yeah, I believe so. See, I believe if you riding around, you get caught with $13 million, the police can confiscate that money. Now, I don't know if they can necessarily take you to jail right off the bat like that, but they can take that money. My homeboy,
they can hold the money.
Yeah,
they
my
can't.
homeboy, check this out. My homeboy was coming back from New Jersey. He was riding through Kansas City. They pulled him over, dog, and he had $10,000. He wanted the casino out there. You know they took that money from him?
Yeah, they can take your money. But the thing is, my man gonna touch back down on the streets. We gonna have some action. Because the thing about Gustavo and that style of motherfucking person, they're such an honorable person, they not gonna play with you. He already been looking at Teddy's side eye because the little shit Teddy did with Louie and Franklin, he looking at him, and that's why he was finna bounce out. Now he know he got popped. He's like, okay. He knows what. See, everybody else except him and Sissy understand what it's gonna take to get out of this thing alive. Maybe not even with your freedom, but alive. But Sissy and Gustavo, they understand what it's gonna take.
Yeah, you know what I do think? I think Gustavo is the one to kill him, or I think or Sissy or Franklin might kill him.
No chance.
You don't think Franklin go get him?
It never let Franklin get that close.
That might be the thing. I'm gonna tell you this. What's the name of Franklin's hit squad? The women.
I don't know. They had a name?
The two girls, the two hit women.
Yeah, I don't know their names.
Now, what do you see? You see them playing the expanded role this year? Because that's pretty much Franklin's whole squad right there.
Yeah, but I mean, ain't no telling. Like, man, Leon, Leon is still there. What are they gonna do to Leon?
I don't think Leon gonna be with it like that though, dog. But then Leon is so loyal, he is gonna be with it. He gonna fuck with Franklin.
Or how do Jerome and Louie see Leon at this point? Like if I'm beefing with Franklin, right? I'm going after Louie. I'm going after Leon. Like I would go right after him because I would think that's gonna be your number one problem. He got control of the projects. I'm going right after him.
I think, you know what, bro? Something either tells me that if Leon don't get killed, he's gonna get away scot-free. It's gonna be either one.
Sure.
I hope he get
away.
I hope he get away too. You know, it's funny, and I think people become so invested in this movie, man, because it's real, dog. It's like stuff like this was going on back then. You know, I think it may be a little bit embellished, dog, on some of the things, but stuff like this was really going on. Rick was really out there selling dope for the motherfucking CIA.
People thought that was so crazy. It was like, oh, this shit getting crazy. They had planes. I'm like, dog, there was a ton of drug dealers. Not a ton, but drug dealers had planes in the 80s. Bro, I don't think people realize how many kilos of cocaine the most powerful players in America was dealing with.
Bro, can I tell you something? And I don't know if you ever tripped off this, but you got an airport over in Compton that was pretty much built up to snuff in the 80s, right? During that time period. You have another one in Hawthorne. Don't nobody use them airports no more, but it's all kind of little airports around from that era, dog. That people was using.
The airports are still open.
And they still open, dog. Don't nobody ever fly out of, but they still there.
Hawthorne, yeah. Hawthorne's a very active airstrip.
Yeah, but have you noticed that though, Peter, that all of those kind of popped up in the 80s during that time? It make you wonder how much cocaine ran across that roadway.
A whole lot of cocaine.
A whole lot of it. Now, this is what I do think, man. I think Jerome kills Louie. I got a couple of other questions though, dog. You remember Lucia? The girl that
that's the one Gustavo was in love with.
Yeah, do you think she working with the feds now or something? You think she just gone?
I don't know.
The one who found the thing in the lamp?
No, that's his lady now. His first lady that dragged him into the business, the drug lord's daughter.
And she just disappeared. The one that caused all that shit trying to get cracked, trying to find out the recipe.
But I'm saying, did she decide to leave the show? You know what I mean, so they just stopped writing her in.
Sure, I don't know, dog, but I think they just kind of just left that hanging. It's just like, where's this other the nigga that he found out, the nigga that stole the cash? What's my boy's name? Dejan Peaches.
My boy Peaches, man. Peaches is on that dope too. That's another thing.
Dope. I think Peaches got AIDS too, dog.
Yeah, he was coughing.
Yeah.
And what's weird is the belief that like he turned on Franklin, and I'm like, I don't know quite what, they could find him and he could literally be about to die. Because I agree, because he was shooting up heroin and he looked really sick, and it's around the mid 80s, you know what I'm saying? It could easily be a bad situation for him.
Well, you know what I think, bro? I think with him, and I still say Louie had something with that money disappearing, dog. I think she had something to do with that. With Franklin getting robbed, dog, because it was just too smooth of a getaway. You know what I mean?
She's super. I tell you one thing, she is super. Like, I always thought she was ruthless enough to be a drug lord, but she's ruthless enough to be a Mexican cartel leader. She is. Feel me? Like, so I wouldn't put nothing past her at this point. I got to put respect on her name when it comes to that ruthless bullshit.
Yeah, she got a
She ruthless like Easy E. If she ran.
She got a dope fiend. She got a dope fiend former police officer that's out there stealing crack from people. Now, that's what really tripped me out. I think she just keeping him around to put a bullet in his head. She just buying her time with him.
I mean, you got to think like, that's why I think she's the perfect leader, right, for an organization, because of how she maneuvers, right, with everything she's doing. Like, that was a time she could have killed that policeman, but realized he was an end. Now he doesn't work for them and he needs to take care of his family, doubled his pay, and he's an end to different detectives because all these different police fell up under him. And it's obvious he's a ruthless killer and he on drugs. So that means he's controllable.
And he was sloppy the way he tried to execute that hit on Kane.
Yeah, because he was on that. That's because he was on that work.
Yeah, he was. He was on that work. Got his homeboy killed. Got his partner killed.
Yeah.
And I think another person that's going to suffer some casualties this season, man, is my boy Jerome. Jerome and Leon, my two favorite characters on the show, man. Jerome is real old school, and whoever that actor is, man, I think his name is Amin Joseph. He does an excellent job with that character.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't. It's funny because it's not really rooted behind a real character, but it's such a, I call him a caricature of some shit like that. He's a great caricature. Feel me?
Of LA nigga, of 80s LA nigga.
Yeah, he's a good caricature. It's over exaggerated, but it's just dope enough to where it's on TV. It's fire. Like my favorite line is that nigga said, "Teach your man some squabbles. Get that trigger next time, nigga." I was like, all right.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, he's that nigga from that era, because you got to remember, in the 80s, you had a lot of cats that was really just moved out to LA when they was 5 or 6 years old, from Alabama, Mississippi, all kind of places. So they still kind of had that big country swagger with them. Even the way they dressed, they was kind of loud colors, man, real just flamboyant with it, a bunch of jewelry on and stuff. So you can see his Southern roots in there and stuff, bro. I think he's a good character. And he told Franklin when this whole thing first started, man, you remember he told nephew this stuff caused problems.
Yeah, he knew it.
This stuff caused problems. He pretty much said that he was he pretty much made the point, bro, that it was gonna tear their family up, and it's about to do it. I think I don't see CeCe making it out next season, dog.
What you think, Pete? Oh, sissy.
Pete, we really need to hear the white man's perspective on this, man.
We just got to talk to Pete about Teddy.
Yeah, Teddy, like tell me, where does Teddy fall in under the hierarchy of evil white men?
Is there one?
Yeah, like is he in the upper 5%?
Upper 5%.
This is weird, man. And I'm gonna say this, and I don't want to cut you off, Pete, but I want to add this. He really thinks he's doing his patriotic duty. That's it. You got to be scared with somebody that possessed. Go ahead, Pete. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I don't think that we could do a lot worse. You know,
they get Hitler bad.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's one of those things. It kind of comes into that kind of endless discussion about like what's facilitating free will versus what's, you know, really heavy-handed downward pressure on it. So I think there's that element to it. And, you know, I mean, this whole situation, like the CIA thing, I mean, that it's like vintage, like the stereotypical, you know, Bush family operation. I mean, people forget like George H.W. Bush ran the CIA and was a political arch enemy of Ronald Reagan before they brokered a deal in like the 1980 Republican, what do you call that thing? Where they announce who's going to be the nominee.
Mm-hmm.
So you know he's a legacy politician. So yeah, there's a top-down mentality behind all of that shit, where it's like, oh, and you look at the way that like George Bush and H.W. Bush, who do they go after? They go after small, measly countries that are easy wins, that are very expensive easy wins. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, who did Reagan spearhead independently going after? Mikhail Gorbachev. You know, we're going to take down the USSR for free. George W. Bush is like, we're going to go into Iran, Iraq, Nicaragua. We're going to go into Eastern Europe. We're going to go to all these small places that cost a fucking fortune. It's like, for what? So you kind of get that mentality that, yeah, you're looking for these people who probably think, oh my God, if communism spreads from Nicaragua to Honduras to Guatemala, we're fucked. It's like, yeah, because otherwise, what would we do without them? So, I mean, he's kind of like one of those dudes that just typically is. He's just the type of person who could tell himself whatever he wants to believe to make him do whatever it is that he wants to do for himself at the end of the day.
I think he's an evil dude, man. I think his intentions before Franklin even quit, man, I think his intentions was to keep the gravy train going. And when he was done with them, put a bullet in their head, take their money and keep it pushing.
I mean, is that necessarily wrong?
You know, I'm going to tell you this, dog. Franklin kind of lost me when he let him do his daddy that way.
I don't think he let him do his daddy that way. And I still have questions about Alton too.
You think
everybody's insinuating Alton's dead? I we'll see.
You know what? That might be a play, dog. He may come up out of nowhere. He may be the one to come and get Teddy's ass. You never know. But I doubt it. I think Alton met his doom that day Teddy walked up in there on his ass.
But again, Alton fucked up.
He was doing too much, dog.
And I respect it. Like I get what he was standing for, but you got to play the game the right way, man. If you know. You do all that shit, man. You got to know what come with it. So, that was tough, man. That was tough. I liked Alton too. I'm glad Alton had got his shit together too before it was all over.
You know what though I see happening, man? I see Franklin as, you know, Franklin is a little resourceful motherfucker, right?
Mm-hmm.
I see him getting the line on Teddy's kids. I see him getting the line on somebody that Teddy knows, dog, deep in the thing. And I see him kind of putting Teddy in a twist.
Yeah, but it's tough to put Teddy in a twist because Teddy is the U.S. government. Like I think at this point,
this is the
thing. The government could bump the government. Listen, if Teddy was to do some real bullshit, you know, the CIA agents, you feel me, is like some of these LA gangs, they will kill their own. They'll bump Teddy ass up.
And they can wash their hands and tell you anytime. You got to remember, he's rogue to give them plausible deniability.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? They can always say, we didn't know what the hell he was out there doing.
Or they just slit his throat.
And I think that's what's going to happen, dude. I think it's a lot more to this than what we think, dog. I I really think that Aunt Louie is more evil than we think. I think she orchestrated that hit. I think that's why she's trying to so hell bent on whacking Kane's ass, because she had something to do with that shit.
Yeah, Louie definitely. Again, that's a character I've liked through the whole thing. I respected her come up. I respected her stay down. And the very last episode, you know, she just lost me. I was like, damn, you gonna do the nigga that made you a multi-millionaire like that for a stranger? Feel me? That I get it, he can help you get more money, but I'm never with money over everything. Anybody who says that to some degree, you feel me, and really with some passion, I don't really trust nobody who says money over everything or self-made. Because if you say money over everything, feel me, that means you'll sell me out. If it's what was I just saying? I lost my train of thought. If it's money over everything, you sell me out. Feel me?
You said your other word was self-made.
Self-made. That means you ain't giving people proper credit.
Yeah, because don't nobody do it all by themselves, bro.
You can't come into this yourself.
It's also, I think, maybe in cases like that, and I don't mean like drug dealer cases. I mean cases where you have people that would, you know, double cross a partner for whatever. It's like you have a lot of money. You can get more money, no question, you get more money. But I think it's more that the money is emblematic about control and feeling like the ego stroke of being, I'm in charge. This is me. Everything revolves around me. Then necessarily it's like, okay, I got $50 million in 1987 versus I have $100 million. You can't do a whole lot different, you know, if we're being honest. Like you really can't. It's not a lifestyle changing dollar amount. But the control element is a lifestyle changing mentality.
Yeah, I feel you. You know what? What is it about this stuff that you think Teddy loves? Because I know he's saying this is patriotic duty and everything, but I think Teddy actually likes being a drug lord, dude.
I mean, it's pretty fun.
It'd be a lot of fun if you had half the consequences to deal with.
Selling drugs is fucking awesome. Outside of the fact you hurting and injuring people.
It'd be a lot of, if you didn't have to worry about getting arrested, it would be a lot of fun.
Oh my God. If like literally I didn't have to go to jail. Oh my God.
I'd be doing it right now. I wouldn't have time to do the podcast.
Still, because at this point in my life, I genuinely care about human beings a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I think being ignorant to certain ideas, really believing people were making a conscious choice. You know what I'm saying? Remember, I wouldn't even do a liquor deal with Steele. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm cool.
You should have did it, bro.
That's terribly offensive.
I understand. But so I think Teddy is a trooper. You know what I mean? But obviously there is certain parts of him that ain't right, because that's why you stay wrapped in the bullshit. But in some way, he probably compare himself to Andrew Jackson and different heroes that are, you know, revered of the past. Guys who have had to do ruthless things for the expansion of America. You know what I'm saying? We celebrate some of those people to this day. So, you know, it's a weird place for Teddy. But again, you know, I'm not fucking with cuz. I just don't know how evil it is. Again, everybody is so self-motivated in this situation. Like Teddy and Leon and Louie and Jerome, you know what I mean? They were innocent until they realized what was going to happen to their community. Once they saw that happen, as you keep participating past that, feel me? That's when you start to choose. That's what I think selling your soul is. You know what I'm saying? Right there.
It is to a certain extent.
I think,
not even to a certain extent. You're right. You're 100% right. So at the end, go ahead, Pete.
So where do you guys directionally think that that the writers are going to like go, and that the story is going to track as far as how the CIA is dealt with? It's like you can take the feel good approach and veer to the left or whatever and say, yeah, they're going to get their comeuppance. Or you can go, we're going to pursue kind of like the rhetorical, or the rhetoric of they're beyond reproach. They always skate. There's never any consequences for them, and go to the right and nothing happens to them. You know, like they do whatever the hell they do. They sweep it under the rug. Some guy gets a medal and a pension, and that's the end of it. You know, like you could write it either way, and it could be compelling either way.
Well, you know what I think? I think they're going to gaslight the whole thing, man. I think it's gonna be a bunch of people going to jail. I think it's gonna mirror the real dope game. Because they've kept it authentic so far. I can't see them just let Franklin go out and do all this stuff and not have no consequences to it. Man, for every action.
No, I mean the CIA ops.
CIA ops, I think ultimately they gonna wind up throwing Teddy under the bus too. I think it's gonna be some blowback from this, just like it was before, and everybody played their position. Think about it, that story. Just think about Freeway Rick's story in itself, G. Don't it seem like that would still be national headlines?
What's funny is the person who set him up didn't get no trouble.
That's what I'm saying, dog. It's like nobody talks about that, dog. So all this stuff ultimately gets dismissed as almost being a myth, almost like it never happened.
You know what? That is true. For something to be of that epic proportion, it is not talked about. Like it's just a punk ass TV show.
Yeah, think about it, bro. Our government had pretty much destroyed a bunch of
black urban community,
dog, and a lot of these communities,
war.
And a lot of these communities still haven't recovered to this day, dog. A lot of those communities that they sold track in,
I guess I never thought about it like that.
A lot of the communities, man, that was suffering from the onslaught of crack and all that in the 80s.
They just starting to recover out here for sure.
They just now starting to recover, dog.
Out here. Now, I think at certain places, like when I go on 99% clear, it's different.
Oh, dude, in Cleveland, it's definitely still. Well, you know what? Cleveland Clinic bought up half East Cleveland. So now, they changed this $500,000 homes over there now. That's big for Ohio. But the thing is, dog, that was catastrophic to our communities, dog.
Look at Detroit, all them empty houses.
That was all
that's not only drugs, but closing down the factories and drugs.
Yeah, so you put all that together, dog, and you find out that this government has something to do with this, and ain't nobody talking about it, bro. We should never trust the government again as black people.
It's my man Pete. That's what Pete always tell me.
We should never trust the government again, bro,
that's
because
Pete's whole take. Pete like, man, fuck the government, some bullshit. That's be right.
That's generally how I look at it.
And it's all white people.
By and large.
You it's so like, when you think about it, bro, it seems like it can't be real almost. Like this is a movie, right? But it's based on some stuff that really happened, bro. And I'm pretty sure, you know what, man, we got to get Rick on here one day and really just break it down to him, because I've heard him talk about this stuff a million times. But does it seem like he keeping stuff out to you?
He got that pod with Dave May. Shout out to them. That pod is dope. After the snow?
Yeah.
I haven't really got into it yet, but Rick definitely gives the highlight of it all. But I think there's a lot of moving parts, like where Uncle Shitty and different people that was around the Freeway Boys could connect a lot more. It's like if you ask Franklin, the character Franklin don't know quite how, like he might have had the general concept of how, the trade around the rest of the country was going to work, right? That was the general consensus around the rest of the country was going to work. Like Franklin is the kind of person that could build up a blueprint, but that don't mean he could build a house. So I think that's what you get with Rick. I think you get the highlights with Rick. You get the slam dunks, the block shots, the fights, but you don't get the true, defense 4 possessions in a row, the offensive rebound that changed the game. And I think because Rick is spoken as like it's Rick. Like Rick is just this, this guy, and it's like the Freeway Boys. You feel me? And whether Rick is the center of attention, like Magic Johnson, that don't mean Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wasn't there. That don't mean James Worthy wasn't there. That don't mean defensive, phenomenon Michael Cooper wasn't there, or Byron Scott, or AC Green, or Kurt Rambis.
I was gonna say, how far down the line are you gonna install before you give Kurt Rambis some love?
Kurt Rambis is my guy. Feel me? I'm a Showtime baby. So I think that's the thing with Rick. I think Rick, you get the highlights, but I think you would need to have more conversation with the Freeway Boys probably to get more in depth of what's going on when it comes to gameplay.
Well, you know what? That's what we should do, man. We need to hit Big Shitty up. I ain't talked to Big Shitty in about 6 months anyway.
Shout out to Uncle Shitty, Freeway Shitty, man.
Yeah, I got to hit him up, man. That's the homie right there. We definitely need to get him on there. Well, for those out there that haven't watched Snowfall, I suggest you go back and peep it. I got on the series kind of late, fell in love with it, went back and watched season 1 all the way up. I think it's the real deal. I think John Singleton is probably
that was his last gift. Rest in peace to the homie.
That was his last
gift to us.
Yeah, and I think he's a genius. I think he's brilliant, and I'm glad he did it, bro. John Singleton has chronicled West Coast culture unlike any other filmmaker, man.
Period. Like he's responsible for our stories being heard. I think Boys in the Hood, what that represented, you know what I'm saying, is crazy. Even Baby Boy, small ideas. Like John is tough in Snowfall. Like I said, that was his last gift he gave us.
Yeah, and
a little inside baseball on that topic. Like, well, it might not be inside in this room, but to the audience, hopefully. I believe, as I was told, that John wanted to make the show a smaller, a more local scope show. And the FX production people wanted to tie it into the larger Iran-Contra, scale and make it a more broad national, international type of, have that twist in there as well. Sure. Do you guys like that component was brought into the show and it's such a center point of the show? Or would you have liked the show more if it had been much more of a localized Boys in the Hood type of feel for the show?
Personally, I think we got that. You know what I mean? I think we got that. And I think the show, for it to continue where it's at now, you would have to take it further. You would have to kind of expand the ideas and, push past it. Because Rick was going further out of LA. Rick was taking drugs all around the country. His shit changed and his clique, the Freeway Boys, was doing a lot. So I like when John Singleton controlled it and gave us the elements of how it affected the inner city. But I also enjoy, not as much the second part. I enjoy the fact that they tie us into cocaine cowboy country. They tie us into Queen of the South, where it shows that, because remember, they're not taking crazy trips. The last episode, they went to, the Wrigley Island. Wrigley Island. That's where they was at. Still, the Wrigley Island.
Over there, that little high-ass, fake-ass Hawaii over there across the water.
What's it called?
What's it called? That's, what's the name of the island we went to, baby? What's the name of the island? Catalina.
Yeah, the Wrigley Island.
Catalina Island.
When he flew his plane, he went to the Wrigley Island.
I was thinking something way further away.
Yeah, they're not getting out of control, so I appreciate the dynamics to the characters. I really do. Franklin is just, it's a tough out. Like, I don't think he's a bad guy at all. I just think he's in a little too deep.
I think Franklin is a young dude, man. He made a lot of mistakes that he's gonna definitely have to answer to. And like you said, I think the writing was so brilliant on there. I know a lot of people get his show flat because John ain't there no more, but I think they're doing what John envisioned them doing. You know what I mean? You could tell his footprint is all over this stuff. His fingerprints is all on this thing, Yeah,
but I appreciate it. I really, the ending is really spectacular. I stand by Oso as the only one who lives, because I think Oso is just that kind of cat.
Well, we got to see if Oso get out of jail first.
Oso for sure gonna get out of jail. Oso is the only one that could go to Mexico and just be down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
and
true.
You got to be a different kind of person to even come deal with him.
And I guarantee you, dog, did you notice Oso had all that paper stacked up? Oso wore the same jacket and jeans every day, dog.
Yeah. He's the one you got to watch out for.
Yeah, he got the one you got to watch out for.
He's
Dudes
not
like
trying
that.
to be nothing more than what he is, and he going like Oso is pure with this shit.
Yeah, he is. He's a real deep boy.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I appreciate Sissy. I think she had the right idea. Like, you got to kill Teddy. She understood the CIA agent had to go. And that's a tough out because you don't know that he's a rogue agent. You don't know that. But she understood that he needed to be gone. There was no way. And she got it better than Louie. She got it better than Franklin. She understood there was no way possible he could let anybody live, because they couldn't. They either had to put you in prison, they were going to take your money, you feel me, or they have to kill you. So I think she had the right idea the whole time. So I just want to go on record and saying how much I appreciate, that sister for really understanding that you got to cut the snake off right there, feel me, and deal with everything else after that. Yeah, I think she has an idea that he's a rogue agent.
Well, I think she does. I know those people definitely. I know those KGB agents damn sure about to find out. Remember, they got the paperwork now.
Javi, man.
Yeah, they did Javi code. But you know what, though? Javi couldn't be trusted, though, dog.
Snake ass Javi.
Javi was playing games already, and he said, I'm fond of the boy, but I can tell you stuff on him, too. Javi ready to give everybody up. Javi said it, though. He hasn't survived as long as he had without being a little foul. Remember, Javi was an informer, too. He snitched on some people.
Yeah. Javi some shit, man. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of people liked Javi, and he was a cool character, but I was happy when he got killed.
You just go like
I don't really like snitches, man.
I was gonna say you got a bias against snitches.
Yeah, me and snitches don't really do well, brother. It's just it's and he was a cool character, but it's like he was a rat. And he had everything coming to him. I was so happy when he got killed. I when it happened, I just smiled a little bit, like, yes.
You know the thing is, bro, all of them people getting what they deserve because ultimately they pieces of shit people, dog.
I'm not with you there, but I get what you're saying.
A lot of them are piece of shit people like Teddy. Whatever happens to him, dog, he deserves it and then some.
I don't know if Teddy's a piece of shit. I think Teddy has some really fucked up ways like that. The move with Louie is something I wasn't fond of. Like, that was just trashy. Feel me? Even from your perspective as a CIA agent and you're funding a war, Franklin has been doing right by you. There's no way you go behind him. That's just stupid. You don't make 2 deals. You don't do that. You feel me? You keep the pipeline going. So, and it was no reason for him to believe, Louie was going to do better. It was just him getting at Franklin. He's making it too personal. And that's something I don't like. But outside of that, like, I think Teddy has been pretty decent at conducting himself as the racist devil he is, you know what I'm saying? And as the patriotic soldier he is. I think he's done a decent job for the most part. But again, he's in too deep. He got shot. He is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And, I understand him having to kill out. Like, I get it from his perspective. Like, this nigga can't live. Feel me? I don't like, what I don't like about Teddy? The fact that a CIA agent feels like he needs revenge. That's the thing. Like, you supposed to be about justice. I get as a white man, right? And the CIA trying to fund the war, justice, but you shouldn't be taking revenge. And that's why I think I do agree with you that, his fatal flaw is his desire for revenge versus keeping things just, right? Trying to keep, the ground America has gained in other countries.
Well, you know what, dog? The biggest problem with him is this. One, he's not a member of the government anymore. So he's just a fucking criminal at this point. So it's open season on anything that happened to his punk ass. And I can't wait to see it happen. I'll be there front row and center because he's a snake, dog. And he's probably almost like one of my top 5 most scandalous people ever in the history of TV, dog.
God damn, you over it. Oh, that's a lot, dog.
He's just doing the most, man, because he's a bro. When somebody can do the evil that he does with a straight face, you ever notice his emotions don't ever change?
I don't know if he's top 5. That's just a lot.
I'd say so, dog. Top 10 at least, dog. Most evil characters ever on TV, dog.
I think Ferris from Boys in the Hood is more evil.
From Boys in the Hood?
Ferris, when they kill Ricky.
That was the dude's name?
Ferris, yeah, punk ass Ferris. He can't fight, so he always trying to find a reason to shoot somebody.
You would be the one that dig back in the movie. Y'all never knew that dude's name that shot Ricky.
Ferris, he was some bullshit because he knew Ricky wasn't no nigga like that. Like, you gun Ricky down, he's a whole ass nigga for that, bro. That was weak.
Ferris died later on, though.
Yeah, Doughboy got cracking on him. For me, Ferris, old punk ass. I didn't really fuck with Ferris. Who else is a really evil character?
Boy, that's an LA name for real, Ferris. that's like
Ferris,
an LA name for real, Ferris.
Adebisi from Oz was another just treacherous.
Adebisi probably was one of the most treacherous dude. He definitely up there number 2 somewhere. He was just so scandalous. Yeah. And he was just
the way I look at it is people who kill people that didn't have it coming. Why'd you kill Ricky?
No, Ricky didn't have it coming, dog. That was scandalous, man. But you know what? Go check out Snowfall if you haven't. The Gangster Chronicles. Thank y'all for coming on tonight, fellas.
Thank you.
We did our review, of course. G is betting on Aunt Louie. He's an Aunt Louie sympathizer. I don't quite agree with his analysis.
Old Romy gonna knock him down. Old Romy gonna knock her down.
Yeah, he's not gonna have a chance. But we got it. G, what you got going on, man?
Bullshit, man. We just no ceilings tomorrow. Fresh, when no ceilings is fresh, we finna ramp it up. Really take podcasting into a lot of hidden caves and taverns. Light the way so people things they've never even seen within the conversation. So we just looking. We had a really dope conversation about urban street colloquialisms. That was really dope. Feel me? Terminologies that the culture is allowing to be gentrified so people can feel included. What's amazing is me and Peter conversations. I try to make sure we always look for, tunnels and caves that haven't been lit before. I try to light up and leave lights in those caves so people could go in those rooms and have those discussions. So every now and then you don't get a lot of credit as being the first person to held the light. That Christopher Columbus discovered America. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't the first nigga there. So I just made sure I hit the lids. We putting up the lanterns for Chris to come over here and get the credit. But you know who really discovered this shit, brother.
Yeah, for real. For real. You heard that, Peter, right?
That's what we do.
Peter, no, man. Well, I'm out here, fellas. I appreciate y'all. And make sure, man, y'all go follow my homeboy, Peter Bass, man. What's your Instagram, Peter?
Mr. Mister _Rose Gold.
What is the rose gold thing? You just really buy into that.
Ginger.
Yeah. I'm rebranding ginger. I don't like ginger.
Ginger.
So ginger. Rose gold is red-haired people.
So you're rose gold then?
Part of the rose gold community.
Absolutely.
Peter, women like you too. You know that?
Not anymore. They don't.
They like you more.
I don't know. So one or two of them. Not
enough.
Not anymore, man. That's all I can say. Not like they used to.
All right, for sure, my brother. Y'all make sure y'all go check up No Ceilings, and we out here for real this time.
All
we
right.
holler at y'all.